I'm sorry I couldn't be there to give you this briefing in person, but I promised Jenny that I wanted to talk to you really briefly about a new forensic artifact, something that I think we're going to be seeing coming up a lot more in our forensic investigations. We already know that when we open any file in Windows, what happens is a number of forensic artifacts are created documenting that we open that file. Whether it's a picture, a document, or a PDF, we know that there are a link file that's created under each user's profile. There's also registry keys like the recent docs registry key that's being updated. Well, now, starting with Windows 7 and with Windows 8, we have a new forensic artifact called a jump list. So now, as we're opening files and looking at them, whether they are pictures or whether they're documents or PDFs, we have another place that we can go look to see what that person has done. So let's take a look where it's at. If we're looking in FTK, under the user's profile, so here I am at users, SANS Forensics 408 is my user profile. Under the apps data, roaming, Microsoft, Windows, recent, there are two folders, one called automatic destinations, the other called custom destinations. Now, both of these are considered jump lists. And you'll notice when I look at the automatic destinations, down in the file viewer window, we see 6 files, or actually there are 5 of interest. Now, these files don't look like much. As a matter of fact, they're named a series of numbers and characters. These are actually called application IDs. Now, what's interesting is with Microsoft, every application that's used on the computer gets its own unique application ID. And that is how all this information is recorded in Windows 7 and Windows 8. Now, the nice thing is, when we look inside these jump lists, so this particular application ID, and by the way, the application ID, for instance, this one, which is 26BFBDAC, etc., is for the picture viewers. So that's for the Windows picture viewer. That's going to be the same application ID on every Windows computer system that's running Windows 7 or Windows 8. And if we look inside the jump lists, this application ID, we can see the pictures that I opened. And as I go through each one of these, we can see the picture and where it was opened from. Now, we also have in this application ID, if we look at that particular app ID, here we have a created, access, and modified time. The created time is the very first time that that application was used and opened an associated file. So whatever the file was, they could open the application and not open or save a file, and an application ID is not created. But the first time that they open a file or create a file or save a file, this application ID is created. The modified time is the last time that a file was opened and saved or created with this particular application. And as you can see, when we go deep into it, we can see each one of those files that I opened. Now here, if we go down a little bit further, this is the picture viewer, this one, the 9B9, this is actually my notepad, and you can see the files that I opened using the Windows notepad. And we go a little bit further down and we see this application ID, F01B4, etc., is actually the application ID for the Windows Explorer, and you can actually see different folders and places that they navigated. Now, the jump lists are a very new forensic artifact, so we don't know everything about it. We're still learning. We're still doing tests. But this is one of those forensic artifacts, much like we talked about last time with the Google Analytics, that I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of. And when they do counter forensics, maybe if they delete their link files or if they delete their registry key for recent docs, they clean it. This is just another forensic artifact that may have information to tell us exactly what files they opened or accessed and from where. So this is the Windows jump list. It's new in Windows 7 and it's also in Windows 8, and it's tracking files that are opened by each application. This could be incredibly valuable. Even though this file may be in an encrypted container, the application ID may actually show that they had mounted that encrypted container and what the file name was when they last accessed it. As a matter of fact, it may even show you, say, for TrueCrypt, it may show you the container name that they mounted in order to put in their password in TrueCrypt. So we're still learning a lot, but I wanted to show you this is the jump list. This is just the simplest way that I could show it to you. It looks very, very similar to link files. There are several new forensic tools out there, very technical, and they're all command line that will help us process both the automatic destination and the custom destinations. Think of them as additional link files or pointers of files that they have opened with each individual application. Again, I apologize for not being there in person today. I hope you've enjoyed JumpList. The rest of the team can certainly answer any questions, and I'll see you later this afternoon.